What if the laws of physics just broke for a second? What if time didn't always march forward? It might sound like science fiction, but for a short, bewildering moment, a multi-billion-dollar science experiment suggested it was all real. Today, we're looking at 3 baffling cases, one from the front lines of science and 2 from eyewitnesses, that make you question what you think you know about reality. In 2011, scientists at CERN, one of the world's most advanced physics labs, announced something flat-out impossible. An experiment called OPERA had clocked tiny subatomic particles, called neutrinos, traveling faster than the speed of light. The setup was absolutely massive. Scientists fired a beam of neutrinos from a facility at CERN in Switzerland through the Earth's crust to a huge detector 730 kilometers away in Italy. They were using atomic clocks and GPS to time the journey with unbelievable precision. When the results came in, the entire scientific community did a collective double-take. The neutrinos were showing up 60 nanoseconds faster than a beam of light could have possibly made the trip. This wasn't just a small anomaly, it was a glitch that threatened to flip more than a century of physics on its head. Einstein's theory of special relativity is a cornerstone of modern science, and it says nothing goes faster than light. If this was true, Einstein was wrong. For months, researchers around the globe scrambled to figure out what was going on. Was this the biggest discovery of our lifetime, or one colossal mistake? Well, the verdict finally came in, and it was a lot more ordinary but just as important. The culprit wasn't a tear in space-time, but something much more human: equipment failure. A poorly connected fiber optic cable, combined with a clock that was ticking just a little too fast, had thrown the whole measurement off. Once those were fixed, the neutrinos went right back to obeying the cosmic speed limit. While it wasn't a glitch in reality, the OPERA anomaly was a profound glitch in our measurement of it. A stunning reminder of how a single tiny error can almost rewrite the rules of the universe. But while that glitch had a simple, technical explanation, our next one is a lot harder to dismiss. This case comes from 1935, and it involves a highly decorated officer in Britain's Royal Air Force, Air Marshal Sir Victor Goddard. While flying his biplane over a decommissioned airfield at Drem, Scotland, he flew into a sudden, freakishly violent storm. His plane was tossed around in bizarre yellow-brown clouds before he suddenly punched through into brilliant sunshine. What he saw below, though, made no sense. The Drem airfield, which he knew for a fact was abandoned and falling apart, now looked brand new and fully operational. The hangars were pristine and mechanics were bustling around on the tarmac. But the weirdest part? The planes were all painted a bright, shocking yellow, a color the RAF absolutely did not use at the time. He even spotted a monoplane model he'd never seen before. The mechanics were wearing blue overalls, which also wasn't standard uniform. Totally baffled, Goddard flew on. But 4 years later, in 1939, the RAF reactivated Drem Airfield. They started painting their training aircraft yellow, just as he'd seen. They introduced a new monoplane that matched the one from his vision, and the mechanic's standard uniform was changed to blue overalls. So, what happened up there? Skeptics argue that Goddard, years later, might have misremembered some details, or that it was all just an incredible coincidence. But Goddard was a high-ranking, experienced pilot, and he maintained until the end that he experienced a vivid, inexplicable glimpse of the future. His account remains one of the most compelling and hotly debated cases of an alleged time slip ever recorded. What do you think happened to Air Marshal Goddard? Was it a hallucination, a wild coincidence, or a genuine tear in the fabric of time? Drop your best theories in the comments below, and if you're enjoying this dive into the unknown, make sure to subscribe for more. Our final story takes us to another Scottish airfield, this time in Montrose, all the way back in 1913. On May 27th, a pilot named Lieutenant Desmond Arthur took off in his BE-2 biplane. As he climbed to 2,500 feet, the plane's right wing suddenly snapped, and Arthur was tragically killed in Scotland's first fatal military air crash. An initial inquiry blamed a faulty repair, but a later government report in 1916 controversially and callously blamed Arthur himself for dangerous flying. According to the legend, it was this injustice that brought him back. Starting in 1916, people at the officers' mess began seeing a ghostly pilot in a flying suit. The sightings became so frequent, the figure became known as the Montrose Ghost. Now, the story could have ended there, just another piece of base folklore. But then, on May 27, 1963, exactly 50 years to the day of Arthur's crash, another pilot, Sir Peter Masefield, reported a truly bizarre encounter. While flying near Montrose, he claimed he saw an old BE-2 biplane, just like Arthur's, flying erratically before its wing appeared to collapse. He landed to search for the crash site, but there was nothing there. As compelling as these stories are, they do remain anecdotal. Masefield's sighting, though famous, can't be independently verified, and ghost stories, by their nature, rely on personal testimony. Is it a powerful legend born from tragedy and injustice, or is it evidence of an echo from the past, replaying itself decades later? Science may not have an answer, but the story of the Montrose ghost endures. From a loose cable that almost broke physics, to a pilot's potential trip to the future, to a ghost story that spans half a century, these cases show us that reality isn't always as solid as it seems. Sometimes the glitches aren't in the world itself, but in our perception or our machines. And yet they leave behind these fascinating mysteries that defy easy explanation, reminding us that there are still strange and wondrous things lurking just at the edges of what we understand. Thanks for watching.